You're welcome back. This is Newsfile. It's your most authoritative news analysis show. And here we put Ghana first. Now, just a minute with Atacha on whether or not they are still pursuing the contempt against the BNI for what they did. Are you still pursuing it?
We are going to pursue it because we need to hallow the institution which is called the judiciary. We need to send a signal out there that nobody treats the judiciary with contempt. And this is a clear-cut case that no matter how exalted that you think you are still subject to the laws of Ghana, including the President of Ghana. So we are not going to take it lightly.
There are suggestions that you have difficulties because the ones who are supposed to be the applicants, so to speak, are not, they've been repatriated.
The contempt is onto the court.
Right.
So therefore, the individual applicant has no special interest. If you can prove that indeed somebody has defied the express order of the court, it should be heard. And I don't see how a court of law will say that in trying to hallow the name of the court, it should always be, excuse me to say, the accused persons.
So which BNI official are you looking for to be imprisoned on this issue?
Well, I mean, there are about 4 of them, and we hold on for now as we begin to put the papers together.
Interesting. Interesting. What do you want to say about that? That is his case. He says it's going on.
I do not want to commit contempt myself, but I can foresee my brother running into several challenges. First of all, who would the applicants be? Because presently the possible or there would be applicants, in my view, are out of the jurisdiction. You cannot do this. But you know, under the civil procedure rules, if you purport to act on behalf of a person without the clear-cut instructions of the person, you could be in contempt yourself. Here is the case.
Couldn't they do whilst they are out there? Couldn't they appoint attorneys in Ghana if that's necessary?
It's not even necessary.
You know, because of the quasi-criminal
nature
of contempt applications, my view is that the applicants themselves, who are like complainants, ought to be present in court.
But you are told that because they don't really need them, anybody at all in Ghana who is privy to what has happened, that the administration of justice has been brought in disrepute, can go and
the Constitution is very clear. It vests the power to commit for contempt in the superior courts.
Correct,
and
yes.
they do so suo motu. That is, if they are satisfied that a certain action or act amounts to contempt. But here you have a lower court.
But they go to the High Court. That's what the High Court.
I know. But then it means the courts would have to act on their own. But if you have to come by application, the applicants who are now the subject of
he's telling you that they don't need their
home country.
He's telling you that they
don't need
their
in any case, I'm not preempting anything. I'm only explaining.
What he's saying is that me as a Ghanaian, if I have come to events, I have witnessed events that clearly suggests that the administration of justice has been brought into disrepute. It must not concern me. I should be able to go to the court and say, I have seen this person disobey the orders of the court.
In that case, it would be a function that the state must discharge. The state, not just anybody, the state.
That is the point. In that case, in appropriate case, the Attorney General can't commence that action. Because after all, it's Republic versus.
Anyway, we'll be expanding the frontiers of the law.
It's Republic versus so and so. And in appropriate cases, and the Supreme Court has held that it's possible for the Attorney General, like the Amega case, to even be on the other side against another state institution or public officer. So we will expect that in view of the obvious disobedience that certain individuals have shown to this court order, appropriate processes should be filed, even if not by the individuals, by the state itself, because that is the function of even the president, maintenance and execution of the laws of Ghana.
Thank you.
We have a very strong defense.
Thank you.
Very strong defense.
Thank you. So the experts, as far as the immigration issues are concerned, say that B1 visas permits foreigners to engage in temporary assignments, not classified employment or work. These include maintenance, attending business meetings, installation of equipment as part of contracts, attending conferences, training, i.e. delivering and participation in, especially where it is intra-company training, training also relating to use of equipment. But all these reasons must be declared on the visa application form. There must be no remuneration paid in contrary. And what I'm reading from one of the bosses from the immigration.
But at least you tell us.
No, if you go to their website, they display the visas, the category of the visas. And the BH, okay, is part of the regulations.
I-16.
Yes. So this is Form D, right?
Yes.
Form D, but the authority is LI 1691. LI 1691. But is there that schedule here that talks about B1, H1? Okay, so on their website, you see, and the H1, they clearly say that the H1 is the one you can use to work.
I've never seen any application for visa form.
Now quickly, let's deal with this small matter that, as most of you have agreed it is. If I can get 2 minutes comments on it, and then we move on. Mark Demont was taken to the court, and we're told that the Attorney General went in and threw in a lonely prosecutor or a discharge of sorts, and so the charges were dropped. It does sound to me, by what I know, that the media reportage may not be particularly accurate. What I understand is that McDermott, the fugitive, was wrongly taken to the circuit court by the BNI. Now, that was a wrong court. They shouldn't have taken him to the circuit court. He ought to have been taken to a proper forum, which is the district court.
Yes.
So what the Attorney General did was to go and remove the case from that place and has put it in the proper court.
In pursuit of the extradition procedure.
In pursuit of the extradition. Yes. So you may find that even though it is reported that it was in the High Court, it is actually a High Court judge who has additional responsibilities for a district court, who is handling the extradition proceedings. The comment there is that, the question there is that the BNI, another case of embarrassing the state, going to a district court, going to a circuit court, and running ahead of the Attorney General, and leaving, like you say, some mess for the Attorney General to clean up.
Yes, and it keeps happening. And sometimes, when you are in court and the Attorney General or her representatives are taking all the bashing and the embarrassing comments, you feel very sad. These are very competent people.
They take bashing and embarrassing comments?
From the court. Sometimes.
The judges?
Yes, the judges. And sometimes you also get a bit
create, loot and share. Is that
well, no, but that wasn't really related to
I'm pretending I'm unaware.
But the point, the point is that these are very competent people.
Right.
Who know what they have to do.
They are our colleagues.
But yes, and some of them have had several further training in specific areas of the law, even if it's criminal law, specific areas. But a lot of the time, or sometimes, when the decision is not founded in law, but on some political or other considerations, and then usually done on the blind side of the Attorney General, eventually the law is that she commences and maintains. And so if there is any praise, she has, and that is why I think there are instances that we should see the Attorney General publicly reprimanding some of these errant ministers and other public officials. Because the Attorney General shouldn't forget that after some time, you go back to your chambers and you'll be in private practice. And things that if you were in private practice and you had done may even be a matter for disciplinary action. You should not allow others to get involved and eventually you take the blame for it. So look, the BNI in particular, I would say that when it comes to the police, bail is very swift. And I wouldn't be surprised that if this gentleman, the South Africans, had been in police custody, it's possible that they may have had the bail on that day. With the BNI, I mean, truth be told, their environments are far cleaner and better, but it can still not be better than you being in your small closet anyway, as a free man. So I think the AG must look at such areas as well. The old vestiges of PNDC and so on, that the BNI, some of them still think that it can be extended. I think the Attorney General, who is the final person to be embarrassed by this thing, should really have strong words for them, that when the court makes an order, comply with it and then take further steps.
Thank you. So by understanding, it's not really the case that the judges have been dropped as reported in the media.
Not at all. And like you explained earlier.
But by that process, truly, they were dropped in that court.
Yes. And so the extradition proceedings are ongoing. And we are looking to have the, of course, alleged fugitive repatriated to his home country, the United Kingdom, and for the
but he may have committed some offense here as well.
You see,
the last time I said in this studio that usually narcotics-related offenses are organized, and so even long after he's sent back to his home country to face the full rigors of the law there, we would also continue to investigate, so that possibly we can bust the entire ring that may have associated.
Our investigations never end.
In collusion with them.
Yes.
I will say something which maybe might not be too palatable. I hold the humble view that the security apparatus of the nation should not be run like an ambulance. People should take their time in dealings with the investigations and the individuals involved. And sometimes they should make their actions referable to the Attorney General, who ultimately has the constitutional mandate to advise the government on every matter. Why do I say so? If it's not an ambulance mentality that our security forces are having, why on earth would you commence extradition proceedings in the High Court? So please, let's take our time in handling some of these matters, because eventually they
commenced it in a circuit court. So now the Attorney General has done the right thing. Done it in a district court. Okay.
Because of the ambulance mentality, you should see it.
Ambulance mentality. I'm sure that my friends at the BNI will not be excited at this ambulance mentality description for them. Yes, Kweku.
Well, I really am not well informed on this particular matter.
Okay.
The only thing I was point I would make is there was this thing about a Ghanaian passport.
Right.
That was found
on him, yeah.
Maybe that angle we should take another.
That's why I was saying that he may have committed some offenses in Ghana as well.
That's right.
Okay. Interesting. I'll take some comments and then we'll come back shortly, because there appears to be another issue with the BNI, which is live happening right now. And we are getting in touch with a lawyer who will tell us a bit about it. We are told that an MD of some company or some security person, private security persons, have been arrested by the BNI, and their crime is that they are suspected to be the persons who took certain pictures standing in their own yard, which is closer to another premises, which is where there are cars that are alleged to be cars that were bought for the NCCE, but are now being painted sprayed in NDC colors for campaign. And the allegation or the report is that they have been picked up together with the MD or so, because the examination has been made of the pictures, which have been running on social media for a while now, and they can tell that the pictures were taken from the direction of that other company, which is nearest to the other company in which the cars are and the spraying is going on. The lawyer is, we are getting him to speak to us about it, because we are told that they have a difficulty to find that, even if that were the case, they can't see what the crime is. And again, the people are being held and they are not being given access to their counsel at the BNI. We'll try and get him and talk to that right away. Now, some of your messages here. This one from Kweku in Accra. He says, did Kweku Baku say Captain Kode's jail break is irrelevant? Wow. James Agaga, keep up. You are doing a great job.
Relevant within the context of the issue that is at stake.
Right. Now, this one says, so at what point did the immigration director revoke the visas of the SA men? Before the BNI took them to court or after the judge granted the bail? Of course, you know, the BNI has embarrassed this country. The Interior Minister makes matters worse with his release. If Captain Koda is a national security threat, why has he been walking a free man all this while? Okay, that's a question his lawyers also ask. We can't wait for November 7. I love Ghana. From Faisal Ibrahim in Accra. Farid Shamsuddin. Farid Shamsuddin. That's Samson in Hausa, right? Says the MPP's contradictory positions on the mission of the SA3 people are enough grounds for the repatriation. And then Raf I in New Bawe says to support the action of the BNI is tantamount to a vote for impunity and lawlessness. The BNI should have obeyed the court order. They can't defy the law in one breath and seek to uphold the same law in another breath. He that cometh to equity must come with clean hands. This is some lawyer here. And then Kona Annan says, no foreigner shall employ or accept employment in Ghana unless that person is granted a work permit or immigration quota. What permit or immigration quota is an authorization granted to an employer or employee to engage in lawful and gainful employment in Ghana. Work permit or immigration quota specifies the job title and indicates the employer by whom that person is employed, and the holder cannot engage in any other employment, business, profession, or occupation in Ghana for reward than what is specified by the work permit or immigration quota. Thank you, Eko Kona Annan. And a final one here from Tony Dogbe. Quite a bit, says, I'm listening to Newsfile from outside Ghana. As a Ghanaian, I am disappointed to hear a minister defending government's action regarding the 3 South Africans. The more the government talks this way, the more damage they do to the image of Ghana in the international community. No business person will come to invest in Ghana, no matter how many trips our president makes to woo investors. If they cannot trust our legal system, it's shameful. And the earlier they bring this to an end, the better for the image of our country. Thank you for those messages. Okay, now
a quick one. I think one of the texters cast doubt on the decision to repatriate, whether it was even done at all. And I have in my hands the notices that were served on the tray. You would see here, notice to leave, WO retired Denver Dwayne Nedu.
They were served on them.
It was served on, yes, they are here. Captain retired Lungi Seleli Jokani, South Africa, notice to leave.
Yeah, I think there's no question about that.
Yes.
Yeah.
So,
but
one texter raised issues.
No, I'm just asking, were they accompanied?
Which
by anybody
sort
from
to
Ghana?
suggest that maybe what we did was just a sham.
Mr. I'm just asking for information. Were they accompanied or they went on their own?
They were escorted. South African police. South African police were supposed to pick them up from the tarmac.
From Ghana?
No. South Africa.
I'm saying, but no Ghanaian personnel went with them.
No, but if you're airborne, why must that be the...
Usually that's the practice.
No,
we accompany them. You have to be sure that they are going straight there and that you hand over them over to the South African police. Usually, immigration officers and sometimes security people accompany them. It's just a practice.
Not when you are running an ambulance.
Where is this ambulance running concept coming from? I need an explanation.
Okay, now let's move on to a matter associated with the release that the Interior Ministry gave us. Okay, Sorry, but I'm unable to pick your call. The lawyer for McDermott is calling me directly. If my production can call him and find out what it has to do, then we can quickly deal with that. Okay. On the matter of the vehicles that were alleged to be NCCE, bought for NCCE, but are now being sprayed NDC campaign colors. We are trying to get to the lawyers who say their clients are being held by the BNI, and they don't seem to have, access to their clients. The claim that I understand again is that they were actually called to the police station, and at the police station the MD of the particular company involved was asked to make a statement, and he declined that he won't make a statement because he didn't see what it was about. And before he could say jack, there was a new group that picked him up, said to be from the BNI, and was kept in the BNI cells without access to counsel. Let's get to the lawyers and find out how exactly that is going on. Okay, as they inform us that the vehicles have also been moved from the original location to another location. Nana Bafo, good morning and thank you for joining us. Oh, sorry, that's not the BNI matter. I'm told that Victor Kojoga Adawudu, lawyer for McDermott, is the one rather on the phone. Hello, Victor. Hello, Victor.
Hello, Thompson.
Yes. What intervention do you seek to make, sir?
Oh. Yeah, then I wanted to make a clarification.
Yes.
That the extradition was actually instituted in a proper forum. That is the High Court sitting as additional magistrate court, the judge.
Mm-hmm.
So the extradition was different from the narcotic that was charged in the circuit court. It was charged with a narcotic offense in a circuit court.
Right.
So it's not like it was instead in a wrong forum, but it's because they never found anything on him, and it will be difficult for him.
You are saying the AG is seeking to rationalize this, and that is not really the case that it was in wrong forum and they brought it to the right forum.
No, it's not that it was in the wrong forum. They are separate issues. One is the extradition, which is in the proper forum, and the second one was the narcotic case that he was charged with for dealing in narcotics in Ghana. Okay.
Senior, tell me, is it possible to pursue the extradition without charging the person with the offenses?
He has charged with that offense of narcotics, of supply of narcotics in the district court.
No, I'm asking whether the charges that you talk about are not a precondition for the extradition.
The charges that were made, there are two different charges that have been made.
Okay.
And the charge in the extradition matter is under Section 56 of the Narcotics Act.
Okay.
The one in the circuit court was under Section 2 and 3 of the Narcotics Act. So there are two different and separate charges that have been put before the two different courts.
Okay, thank you very much, Victor.
It's a pleasure.
Victor Kojoga Adawudu is lawyer for British fugitive McDermott, who we just told you about his, appearing in court, being moved from one court to the other.
But right. Samson, it's getting complicated because I've been involved in the extradition cases. Okay. You see, the extradition cases will always start in the magistrate court,
okay,
in which there are no charges preferred against the individual who is being extradited, as it were. But there is a whole warrant from a foreign country, which is part of the proceedings, that this man should come and face trial in that country.
Okay.
So that is the essence of it. So I cannot understand why anybody will be charged with an offense.
In this instant case, the warrant did come from a magistrate in the UK.
Right. Yeah. Yes. Okay. Thank you very much. We are all learning in this process. Now, the other matter that is tied to the statement issued by the Interior Ministry is that the Interior Ministry in the statement said that STL, the guys were carrying documents from STL, documents belonging to STL, and they were seeking that they were learning about the vulnerabilities of the staff of STL. And the minister said STL is contracted to transmit tallied results, election results. That has brought up a whole new debate. I'll start with Kweku on that. Kweku, what's the big issue with that?
Well, let me be honest with you. Apparently there's a contradiction out there because of what the minister said and what had earlier been said by Dr. Afari-Gyan on December 8th, 2012, where he was categorical that the EC had not contracted any company to engage in electronic transmission of results, and that what had been going on was the transparent process that we all know about in terms of party agents signing results.
Okay, this is what Dr. Afari-Gyan said.
Sure.
Good. Dr. Afari-Gyan said on the 8th of December 2012 that, quote, the Commission's attention has been drawn to allegations that it has engaged the services of a company to do electronic transmissions and collation of results on its behalf. We wish to state emphatically that no such engagement has been made. Neither is the Commission doing electronic transmission of results, unquote. Dr. K. Afari-Gyan, Electoral Commissioner.
Yes, the Minister of Interior is such a fine gentleman. I respect him. I think his manner, his everything.
We have the EC's Albert Ahin on the line. Thank you very much for joining us, and hold on for us. Yes, go on.
So I'm so sad that propaganda, has driven him into issuing this.
Sorry, Albert Ahin of the Codeo is on the line with us. Yes. So please hold on for us.
It is this whole attempt to mystify this South African thing, give it a certain propaganda twist that has affected such a fine man with very good credentials. And I'm sad for that. Because you see, I have made a point. I would want to see the contract or contracts that the STL has with the EC. You remember the UNDP report recently? There they talked about EC having outsourced the management of the biometric database to STL. That's not exactly the same as transmission, electronic transmission of results. So now there's a catch there. True or false? I think we need to get the contracts. Because somebody hinted me that they have more than one contract. I'm even told that it was difficult at one stage retrieving the contracts for examination when the new EC boss assumed office. I know this from a very reliable source. So I want to be very charitable, for this at this stage.
What do you mean by you want to see it? Such contracts may come with confidentiality clauses.
No, but such contracts, are you telling me that we can't ask for them? Because we can. We can. If it is a contract to do electronic transmission, can you hide it?
And also,
is it out of the public view?
And also the remuneration is drawn from the consolidated fund.
Yes, and in any case, so they file their returns, they do all those things, so the point about even the profiling there, I think we should throw it into the dustbin, that people were profiling, that's a joke. It's meant for the Marines. But now the real issue is this thing, the contradiction between what Afari-Gyan said and the Minister of Interior, you see. But for the fact that it's the Minister of Interior saying it, I would have dismissed it. So that's why I'm asking for the contracts that the EC have with STL. And let's examine them. If there's any contract to the effect that the STL is doing electronic transmission. Until and unless this is done, the public will continue to think that the Minister of Interior has actually let out the cat out of the bag. I don't want to move to that extent. I'm just trying to be cautious, and I'm asking for the further and better particulars relative to the contract of STL before I come to a judgment.
I'm holding in my hand the Daily Graphic, Wednesday, March 1. 2016, and there's an expression of interest. Electoral Commission requests for expression of interest for the procurement of ICT-based election results management system. And basically, if we are seeking to know
which year,
this year, 2016.
Yeah, but we're talking 20.
Yeah, so I'm saying, would it not be the same? What else do we need to know? The Electoral Commission intends to use ICT to run in parallel with its existing system of transmitting election results. Accordingly, the Commission has, put out this invitation to people to bid and do it.
But that will not answer the issue at stake. This one, I think we are going back to 2012. There was a disclaimer issued by the EC. 2016, the Minister of Interior is talking about electronic transmission by STL. I'm sure he's talking of a previous business STL might have done. Is that not so?
Yes.
Yes. So this one is 2016. Is now, assuming this is now going to amount to electronic transmission. It's a new thing being advertised.
Kofi Adams, is he national organizer of the NDC?
Yes.
He says what the minister, that comment by the minister or the Ministry of Interior was in error.
Oh, goodness. Driven by propaganda.
Kofi Adams is known to be within the NDC someone who has, been participating in matters of election.
Now, all the minister's statement, you see how it's been reduced. It's so sad. Such a fine gentleman.
No, just that aspect.
Oh, what is that aspect? That's a critical thing. First of all, those charges don't appear in court on the charge sheet, and then you get yourself driven by propaganda to make such an error. Almost a fatal one.
So Koku is saying all we need now is for sunshine. We should bring that, contract, or however we are engaged with STL, we should bring it so we will all see for ourselves.
Yes.
Yes. And the statement by your ministry, the statement by your ministry is said to be in error.
Colleague, whether he was part of those who drafted the ministers.
He wouldn't give you an answer.
Oh, please. So that
no. This is
there's a conflict of interest situation you find yourself.
No, it is immaterial. I cannot. No. Why should I even make that disclosure in the first place?
I told you, he won't give you.
I want to pick your views quickly, and I'll go to Albert Ahin of the Kodeo to tell us what should be the way forward about this matter.
I think Kweku has spoken well. Afarijan says one thing, we hold a view that appears not to be in sync with the statement Afarijan issued, the one that you just read. But Samson, I think that for me it is immaterial, seriously speaking, and that is my view. Whether STL was contracted to manage biometric database or to transmit tallied election results, it's not germane to the issues that have been raised in paragraph 4 and 5. What paragraph 4 and 5 seeks to do, and I'm talking about the minister's statement, is the attempt.
No, please.
No, Samson, please.
Because we have moved on from that discussion. Now we are talking about the statement by the minister, which is that STL is the company contracted by the Electoral Commission to transmit tallied election results.
And I have said that issue can easily be resolved. And the Kweku's prescription, I tend to agree that a simple production of the contract will resolve the issue. But having said that,
if it turns out not
having said that, the issue that has been made about whether or not it is biometric database management that XTL was contracted to do or to transmit tallied election results, for me, it's immaterial. It is immaterial to the extent that we discovered at least some comprehensive report with the trace of Africans.
Once again, keep the focus. We are not interested right now. We have dealt with that issue.
Yes.
What we are dealing with is the apparent contradictions between the statements that your ministry issued and what the EC officials themselves have said.
I'm saying
they say they do not have any contract with STL to transmit tallied results.
And
the NPP had insisted earlier that there was something like that.
Yeah, I'm not in a position to.
Then there was a denial by the EC boss himself.
Yes.
Now, 2016, we have the ministry repeating what the MPP's suspicion. Yeah. Kofi Adam says this statement was made in error. Is that what you say it should be?
I'm saying, coming from the ministry, I'm saying that we are not prepared to concede that what we did was in error. And I'm saying that Kweku has made a certain, pronouncement, which is instructive. Yeah, so a simple production of the contract will resolve this issue. But I'm saying that the issue is,
he says the ministry is not ready to concede.
It is an attempt. It is an attempt. This issue, and let me make my conclusions on this. That issue is diversionary. It is an attempt to dilute the security dangers posed by the activities of the three. Why are we not discussing an issue that came up in 2012?
We are heading to elections.
Of course.
And you want people to have a certain semblance
of credibility
in the EC.
Is the discovery of that report with the foreigners, the South Africans. That is what we should be discussing.
We didn't appear on the charge sheet.
You see, that is what we should be discussing.
On the charge sheet. Why?
But to pin the minister down and say we have made contradictory statements is to sweep under the carpet the real issue. The real issue is the discovery of a comprehensive report on the STL and their operations with the foreigner.
Why was it
That is what we should be interested in.
But that document, Christ, it's a public document.
Wait, just hold on.
So if you find such a document with the foreigner,
just hold on.
Be suspicious.
So now one thing is clear. The NPP has suspicions, or the NPP with other parties may have some suspicions that STL is doing something it ought not be doing, and that its suspicion that the STL was involved in transmission of election results are valid. Yeah. You say you are not ready to concede that this statement was in error. So you confirm that that is what it is. So you and the EC are running a different tangent because the EC says they don't do that. Mr. Thatcher, what is the danger that the NPP is raising if it is the case that STL was transmitting tallied results?
The danger is that if the results coming from the polling stations, you see, do not go directly to the EC, but they have to go through another medium. And when the EC has no control, the end result can be fictitious. That is very dangerous.
That was a suspicion that led MPP sympathizers and its youth organizer to walk to the place at the time.
We have been educated that when results are electronically, transmitted, there is a tendency also to tweak the whole thing, to be adding on numbers who do not reflect on what happened in the polling station. And the reason why we are very, very cautious about, serious about this matter is that the EC has a tendency that whatever you bring me, I will declare. The EC confesses to be a conveyor belt. What is coming from the ground, I will declare. But what we are being educated, from Nigeria, that is very important because of this statement is that whatever is transmitted to the EC are provisional results. The EC is in duty bound to verify the primary evidence from the ground before results are declared. Because a lot of people are saying that if it takes, a week for the EC to have the full complement of the primary evidence to declare the final result, it's better than going to the Supreme Court for 8 months.
Okay. James says he agrees with Kweku that the way to resolve this easily is for the Electoral Commission to bring forward its contract with STL. You agree that's the way to end this debate?
We need to go beyond that.
And do what?
And also check all the payments that EC made to STL at the material time of the elections.
To be made on basis of a contract.
You see, it is so important that we know. And we also want to find out what is the scientific validity of that transmission. Because as we all know, we were under the impression that they would transmit the results from the collation centers to the region and eventually yes. So therefore, if there is a detour, senior, just a minute. If there is a detour, what is it intended for? Is it for fraudulent purposes? I think it's a matter which will engage national attention.
You see, unfortunately, my senior attached here was one of the lawyers who represented Jekotanka and Akufo-Addo at the Supreme Court when they brought that.
He was not.
Oh, sorry for that. But of course, led by Addison. Something. Was this part of their case? That
no, you've given us a new
I'm
case.
Asking you.
But you remember what happened
was
there,
this
and
part
he took
of the case?
the Commonwealth Election Observer.
And so for us to now say
Mr. Obasanjo to actually help to stop what would have
no, but the point I'm making is that if the MPP were genuinely convinced that the involvement of STL, even if it is the case that they were contracted to transmit tallied election results, corrupted the process, they would have made that part of their case at the Supreme Court.
On that occasion, I think a group of them, a number of them were selected and asked to go through STL, and they were walked through the processes in STL, and there was a categorical denial that there was a transmission of tallied results at their point, and that results were not coming there.
So I'm saying that the issue that is now being raised.
Okay, now hold on. Now quickly with you, and then let me go to Mr. Atani on the phone.
Now there's one point. So far, STL have not denied any of the two stories, whether Afarijan's one or the one by the Ministry of Interior.
Right.
And so we are entitled to believe either of them. That is one. And two, I'll be surprised that now we are asking for the contract, at least the minister is asking for the contract. Because if a minister of state issues a statement, official statement, in the name of the Republic of Ghana, and well, my good friend, the deputy, is now asking that we should
I have not asked for a contract.
He's saying in effect,
let me build my
what
point.
He said in effect was that if you get to see that contract, you can confirm and corroborate what they have said. Because he said they are not ready to concede that what they said was wrong.
So I will take it that
I made that
they saw. No, I'm saying that I will take it that they saw the contract before they issued that official statement in the name of the Republic of Ghana.
You are assuming.
No, I'm not assuming. No, but it is official work is done, and we know that it complies. So he cannot now support.
It's propaganda, you see. The propaganda drove the minister.
Please, hold on, just hold on. Hold on briefly. Let's go to the phone lines. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Mr. Ayin.
No, thank you too, my brother. And
right. At the CODEO, the Coalition of Election Observers Group, are you worried about these contradictory statements, as in the NPP having made the allegation earlier, suspecting that the election results were being compromised? Their officials were taking through the STL and explained that nothing of the sort was going on. Then Dr. Afarijan issued a categorical denial that STL was transmitting tallied results. And then fast forward to 2016, the Interior Ministry issues a statement and says they transmit tallied results. They have a contract to do so. The Deputy Minister sits right here and says they are not ready to concede that that statement was in error, even though the national organizer of the NDC says that statement was in error.
This is interesting. What I think should be done, in the first place, this is worry and doesn't actually put any confidence in the process itself. In the first place, I think the EC ought to come out to deny or confirm this statement that the minister has made, because it borders on the integrity of the Electoral Commission. David Dr. Afarijan said some time back that the STL was not transmitting results. And now a minister has come out to say this. Then the onus now lies on the commission to clear this particular problem. And again, I think it's also incumbent on the ministry that said this to add further evidence to this particular statement, where he got to know and in what contract was this seen. Because so far as I know, the Electoral Commission does not contract anybody to send results. results are sent from the polling stations to the constituency centers. They're collated, and from there, it goes to the regional office at the Electoral Commission. And from the regional office, these results are taken to the operations room of the Electoral Commission. So if there's anything contrary to this normal arrangement, then it ought to be explained to Ghanaians to know exactly what happened. And I will say that this is very important, and the Commission should come out to clear the air about what Dr. Afurijan said some time back and what has happened now. I think in terms of electoral transparency and accountability and all that kind of thing, we need to have a clear idea, a clear knowledge about what actually took place. And I would insist that the Commission is to come out and talk about that, so that its integrity will be saved.
I see. But are the party representatives who were at the EC, the party representatives who were at the various coalition centers, are they not in good position to confirm that the results that came to the EC were intact? And so this is not a necessary exercise?
Yes, and I was going to further say that if results were actually transmitted to the STL, the Director of Elections at the Electoral Commission in the district should be able to confirm this. The Regional Electoral Commission officer should be able to confirm this. There are many avenues for confirmation of this particular story. If it was actually being sent, who were those officers involved? The Electoral Commission staff were the people who were doing this on their fax machine. And they need to clarify this issue. So I don't think we need to go far. If the Electoral Commission members, the Commission members are not ready to say it, I think the people down there should be able to confirm the story.
Well, has this any implications for the upcoming elections, particularly that the EC now is asking to engage an entity, as it were, to do some sort of work in this direction?
Yes, if anything at all, it borders on transparency and integrity of the Commission itself. And
I must read this quickly so that it doesn't give any wrong impression. What the EC is asking eligible firms to express their interest in is in the provision of the following services: supply, installation, and support appropriate ICT products and logistics for direct capture of polling station election results at about 29,000 polling stations. Supply, installation, and support appropriate ICT products and logistics for real-time direct transmission of presidential and parliamentary polling station election results to the constituencies collation centers. Supply, installation, and support. All of it is supply, installation, and support. So it does suggest to me that even here, the entity is not the one that is going to have a direct control of the process. As they even say, priority of rights, that all software, hardware, and documents prepared by the service provider under this project shall become and remain the sole property of the Electoral Commission. The service provider shall not, during the term of the contract or after expiration, disclose any propriety or confidential information relating to the services or the Commission's business or operations. Okay.
Yes.
Yes, so I was asking, are there any implications if this matter is not cleared in the manner you are asking?
Yes, there will be implications here in the first place because, one, it is being alleged that a particular agency was transmitting results, and this has been denied.
Okay.
And I'm saying that, the Electoral Commission has never transmitted polling station results to the headquarters or to any other place for maybe documentation at the headquarters. Maybe this is the first time they are trying to do it.
Okay.
I'm trying to get this from the fact that this is the first time they are trying to transmit polling station results.
Right.
They've never done it before. So maybe this is an arrangement that is being put in place, and they are asking an ICT firm to come out with the know-how as to how this is going to be done.
Thank you very much.
It is very important to link it to what is on the discussion now.
Okay.
So they have to clear the air as regards this particular problem, so as to prepare the ground for them to go further to do what they want to do. It will be in the interest of the whole nation, and even particularly the interest of the commission itself.
All right. Thank you very much, Mr. Albert Ahin. Okay, Mr. Albert Ahin is an election analyst and national coordinator of CODEO, the Coalition of Election Observers here in this country. Yeah, he used to be with the EC. I think he used to speak for them or something.
No,
was director of something.
Elections or something.
Right.
Like that.
It's the reason I introduced him first as with the EC, because I remember him very well for working with the EC. Now, we're taking a quick break here, but the lawyers for the persons we were told have been picked up by the BNI in respect of the vehicles that were alleged to belong to have been bought for NCCE, but are now allegedly being rebranded into campaign vehicles for the NDC, have told us that they can confirm that yes, their clients were picked up. The managing director and security men of Granite and Marble are the ones we are talking about here, and that it's in respect of pictures that were taken of Mahindra vehicles that were sitting in a yard that shares wall with this managing director's company, and the examination shows that, of the pictures, shows that they could only have been taken from that other compound. And so that is the reason they have been picked up. And right now, we are told that there's some intervention, so there is access and they are trying to see what can be done. And so they can only confirm that this is what it is, but they are not interested in having the matter discussing the rest of whatever is happening in the media. The information.
So what is the crime?
The information is that I'm not sure if the crime is only for, even if they took the pictures, but maybe the fact that the story is untrue.
They moved the vehicles are done, I'm told.
Yes, we are told they moved the vehicles are done, and that the vehicles were actually sitting in the place that the spraying was going on, belonging to somebody in national security.
Wow.
And so the suspicion is that that is the person who ordered the arrest in the manner that was done. But is it wrong for me if I'm invited by the police on suspicion of a crime, and I'm asked to make a statement, and I say I do not intend to make any statement? Is it wrong?
It is not wrong at all. The right to remain silent is one of the options open to anybody under investigations.
Okay.
And as a matter of fact, some people have believed that that's the best strategy sometimes.
Okay.
Because of the fact that you are not supposed to prove anything.
Right.
Every allegation should be proven by your accusers.
I'm asking that, and it's not because I want to believe the whole thing totally, because we need to also confirm with the police that these persons were picked up by the police first, and the police asked them to make a statement, and the managing director that we are talking about declined, saying that he will not make any statement because he didn't see the need for it. And the police insisted that he still has to write something down. Even if he's not making a statement, he should say something. And
was his lawyer there?
And that, no. And when he refused to do so, before he could say Jack, then BNI people grabbed him and took him away. So the lawyers have confirmed that indeed the story is one that is true.
Just a quick one. I think there's something that we don't do in this country. We have our rights intact. Article 14.5 clearly states that the individual who caused your unlawful arrest or detention, and it also includes maybe after bail has been given and you are frustrated, you sue that individual personally for compensation.
Here we don't really sue. We'll take a break here. We'll be right back.
I'm begging you that, Dr.